All right, guys, and welcome to our Saturday Mega Wellness Show. I'm Del with the Mega Sports, and we are live here on Facebook. I want to thank you guys for joining or for watching us. I am joined today by two amazing experts. I'm going to go turn this way and look at Daisy Wilson, our market leader from our North Hills store. Good morning, Daisy.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. You're streaming live with us today.
I'm so happy to be virtual.
Yeah. And I know you're about to go on vacation, so I want to thank you for taking some time this morning to, today we're going to talk about your new series called Seriously Saucony, and answer some questions that folks have submitted on how to choose the right running shoe and some other kind of running shoe questions that came in.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Great. And then all the way over to the other side there, I want to say good morning to Rachel Urban. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. Now, Rachel, you've been kind of blowing up our Instagram, blowing up our Facebook, blowing up our podcast, our new Play More studio. We just released a new podcast called the Mega Sports Women's Only Podcast, and you were our first big release of our podcast. And of course, Rachel, for those of you who've been following us, is the executive director of the American Cancer Society. And you spent some time with Cleo for the podcast. And now, because it was so great, I decided I'm going to grab you as well. So today we're going to have a great conversation about what you do and obviously all the great work that the American Cancer Society does for our communities.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm excited.
Yeah. So Daisy and Rachel were talking before the show. You guys just realized you're both in Raleigh.
Yeah. We've never met, but we will. We'll hook up now.
I know. We're like a mile apart as the crow flies. So I will, you might be wishing you didn't meet me, Daisy, because I'm always someone who asks a lot of questions about equipment and shoes. And
bring it on.
You guys are experts. So you'll have a new friend in me for sure.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I know before the show, Rachel was talking about, particular shoe models and some ailments that maybe you experienced, and then Daisy was already answering questions, so she's primed and ready to answer some good shoe questions today, thanks to Rachel's warm-up. All right, well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and have you guys drop off the screen because I'm going to jump into our Omega News. We've got some great things happening this weekend, as of course Daisy is fully aware of. I'm going to go ahead and jump into our Omega News now, and then we'll have Daisy back for a great session on how to pick the right running shoes and answering some running shoe questions. And then she's going to tell us about her new series called Seriously Saucony, which is going to be a great new fun thing that we're launching here at Omega Sports. And then, of course, Rachel with the American Cancer Society will be joining us to talk about all the great work that that organization is doing. Obviously, right now, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but there's so many things that the organization, just kind of how they were founded and what they're doing today to even help young people is worthy of a great interview that we have coming up with Rachel. All right, let's start our Mega News. So if you have been following us and if you are checking your emails, which I hope you are because we do send them out daily with all new updates, we are celebrating our Megaversary. So this is a celebratory offer that we're offering all of our customers. It's 20% off your entire purchase. You can go in stores or you can go online at Omega Sports. It is our Megaversary. It is our way to thank you for 42 wonderful years of servicing our North Carolinians, and of course with our online site, everyone throughout the world who shops with us on omegasports.com. We are treating you like VIPs, guys. We are giving you 20% off your entire purchase, so make sure you go in stores and online and get all the great details. We do have exclusions that apply, so but just make sure that you go, take advantage of it. We've had a great week already, but this is our weekend now. So we usually start our big offers on Tuesday, and you guys have already kind of snatched up a lot of great, wonderful things with your 20% off. But this weekend is going to be a big weekend. So we just invite you out to our stores. Our Active Play experts are excited to be able to help you find new running shoes, new running gear, whether it's from your shoes all the way up to headgear. Let's go ahead and take advantage of our VIP savings during our Megaversary. And then I'm going to go ahead and jump into my screen here because I want to pull up our new let me pull my screen up here. I'm going to go ahead and pull up our new Play More studio. If you guys have been following us, you know we've been lightly teasing out our new Play More studio, which basically is our content hub. So for almost 2 or 3 years now, we've been producing a lot of content. You know, we have podcasts, we do videos, we do helpful guides called our Ask the Experts guides. Well, we finally have decided that it's time to go ahead and put it all in one nice little hub. So our Play More studio allows us to go ahead and give you guys some great information. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll through here real quick. We've got some quick sprints of just some fun little news items that we want to make sure that we're sharing with everyone. We've got some great articles that feature specific products. And as I said, we've got some helpful guides, the Ask the Experts. So today we're going to be talking about how to choose the best running shoes for your feet. We've also put that information here on our Play More studio, how to buy the right running and athletic socks. And then, of course, our new women's only podcast is going to be housed in our Play More studio. We're going to get a sneak preview of Rachel's interview with Cleo if you haven't had a chance to listen to it. So we'll get a sneak preview later during Rachel's interview. And then we've got some shoe fan categories, some very popular shoes that some folks are talking about. We want to share some great information with. We've got some fantastic wellness partners. Of course, you guys are very familiar with our good friend, Clay Sankey, Dr. Clay Sankey over at True Motion Therapy. We've got a partner spotlight on him so you can learn more about Dr. Sankey. And then some great, wonderful wellness articles to really just help folks with all their needs. We want to be your resource for wellness here at Omega Sports. So we created this site to kind of create this wonderful, easy to use hub that you can go to. And if you are wondering, how do I get to it? You can certainly go to playmore.omegasports.com. But you can also just go to omegasports.com if you're shopping. We certainly want to drive you into our online site to shop, but you can always go right here into our Play More button here and then get even more information so that you can, run faster, be stronger, and play well. All right, so that's our Play More studio. Let's go ahead and go back to my screen. All right, hopefully I made that work perfectly. All right, so again, 3 things that I want to make sure that everyone knows about today. We've got our Megaversary happening this weekend. It goes all the way through Monday. You go in stores and online. Take advantage of our 20% off Megaversary sale. And then, of course, we've got our Play More studio. I'd love for you guys to take a drive through, just take a sneak preview through. You can check your email and go right to it, or you can go to playmore.omegasports.com. And then, of course, definitely check out our new women's only podcast. We're going to be releasing episodes every 2 weeks. So today, or actually this week, we released our first episode hosted by Cleo Fawcett, our head of apparel, with our wonderful guest today, Rachel Urban from the American Cancer Society. Fantastic podcast interview. We've already gotten great feedback from a lot of our customers who've already listened to it. And we'll talk about, I believe it's already on Spotify, it's on Radio Host, it's on Google Podcast, soon to be on iTunes. We're just waiting for it to go all the way through the process. But really, anywhere you get your podcast is where we're going to have our women's only podcast available to you. All right. So now I'm going to jump into our Insta faves. As I mentioned, one of our wellness partners, Dr. Clay Sankey from True Motion Therapy. He is a regular fixture here on the show. We love sharing his content, so we're going to pull in a video that he did to help runners. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Running is a skill. It's not just fast walking, and it takes time to develop that skill. We want to become more efficient as we run. With more efficiency, we see less injury and we see better running economy. With better running economy, you can run further and you can run faster by expending less energy. And there are certain things you can do to help improve your running efficiency, and I'm going to take you through a drill that helps improve running efficiency. Now, in this drill, we want to be focusing on 3 things. Number 1, we want to focus on having a slight forward lean in our body. Number 2, we want to have our feet land under our center of mass as opposed to in front of our center of mass. And number 3, we want to be light on our feet. So all you're going to do is you're going to get yourself an open area where you have some room to run. Start by just lightly jogging in place, really focusing on that light footstep. If someone was standing right next to you, you really wouldn't want to have them hear you at all. So nice light footstep. From here, all I want you to do is lean forward. As you lean forward, you're going to find that you just naturally start running. So that's all it is. It's just that quick initiation to running as you focus on those 3 things. Do 5 to 10 before your run to help get you primed, to help get you in the mindset of what it's like to run efficiently. What happens is, as the miles start to go on, we start to fatigue. You may start to fall into the back seat a little bit, meaning you're leaning back. As you lean back, you're going to be forced to overstride. As we overstride, we're going to become heavy on our feet. Now that's the exact opposite of what we want to be doing. So this drill teaches you to keep that nice forward lean, to have that foot land under your center of mass, and to be light on your feet. So hopefully, as you start to fatigue, which naturally happens as the miles go on, you don't fall into those bad habits, and you can think about those 3 things: a slight forward lean, being light on your feet, and having that foot land under your center of mass. So run through that drill a few times before each run and see your running efficiency improve. I hope that was helpful.
All right, well, we want to thank Dr. Sankey from True Motion Therapy. If you are in the South Charlotte area, definitely make sure you're checking him out. You can go to truemotiontherapy.com. If you're not in the area, I still strongly encourage you to follow him on Instagram at True Motion Therapy. He is dropping all kinds of fantastic wellness shares, is what we like to call them, to help folks with all of your pain and injuries. Definitely check out his Instagram page. He does some good to have him on the show, just sharing some great information. And of course, you can go to playmore.omegasports.com as well, where we're going to house a lot of our wellness experts under now our new hub. We want to let you guys know that we do have some fun things up there already for you. All right, so speaking of running, I mean, how cool was it to have Dr. Sankey talking about running economy, running efficiency? You know, it's definitely what I would call, like, we can geek out on the running category for a while. And that's why we have our good friend Daisy that's going to join us today. So let's go ahead and bring in Daisy from our North Hill store so we can geek out some more.
Yeah, so say, if you need a geek, a shoe geek, that's me.
There you go. I think it's a badge of honor to be able to say,
oh, yeah,
you're a shoe geek.
Yeah, well, talking about the fit process, it's not as like dramatic as people think it is. It's really easy to come in, get your gait analyzed. It's helpful if you bring your old shoes. One thing is you can look at your own shoes and look at the wear pattern. If the tread is pretty much smooth, where's the camera? If this is smooth, then the cushion in it's probably gone. You can look at the bottoms of your shoes and see if you're a heavy heel striker. You can look at the outsides. If it's wearing really bad on the outside of your shoe, you might need a little bit more support. When you do come in, we can watch you walk, watch your ankles, see how they're staying in line or not staying in line. We have this great Albert machine. It helps us fit for Atrix insoles, and it shows us all of your pressure points. It shows us actual images, 3D images of your feet. I can like scroll your foot around. It's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to let people know that we've got some questions that came in. So Daisy's already answering our first question from Morrisville, went ahead and sent in a question that said, tell us about your fit process. So I'm going to kind of go through that one more time. Obviously, you can tell by the wear and tear on your shoes. That's the first thing that you can look at, right, Daisy?
Yeah. Like I was saying, just where your shoes are wearing or where you're striking first. So sometimes people are really heavy heel strikers. If you're a walker, you're probably a heavy heel striker. You need a lot more cushion underneath your heel. If you're more of a forefront striker, you have probably a little bit better form. You might need a lower drop shoe to help kind of propel you forward more and kind of just keep your feet under you. But yeah, you can really tell a lot by the wear patterns on your shoes. As far as the rest of our fit process, all of our staff is trained to help with you, help you with it. But it's really easy. We just watch you walk. We look at your pressure points, and it's kind of a trial and error, just feeling what feels good under your feet.
Yeah. So at Omega Sports, we call it our better fit or our proper fit process session. So you can come in, it's for free, right, Daisy?
Oh yeah.
We scan your feet. We actually have technology that will scan your feet, that will automatically go ahead and give our active play experts really pressure points, thermal imaging, all the techie stuff that we love to look at so that we can make a proper recommendation. Because at Omega Sports, Daisy, I'm sure you would agree, it's more important for our customers to get fitted correctly so that way they're not going to injure themselves, they're not going to prevent the performance that they're looking for, and just to keep them comfortable.
Well, it's also an important step that we know what to do with that knowledge. So when you come in and you see a certain wear pattern, or, people come in and say, my knees hurt, my lower back hurts, we know which shoes to pull to kind of help prevent that, or help not cure, I don't want to say cure, but help, relieve some problems you might be having. So it's that transition. So it's not just knowing what's wrong, but how can we fix it?
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's jump into the next question. If we can put it on the screen. We've got John from Cary. And I think this is a good question. It kind of goes into what we've already been talking about. What are some things that we should consider when trying to choose the right running shoe, other than come to Omega Sports and let us help you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different little things that go into a shoe. One is the amount of cushion. How far are you going? If you're running very long distances, you need a little bit more cushion. If you're doing more sprints or treadmill running, you might not need as much cushion. You might want a more lightweight, kind of flexible shoe, which actually goes into my next thing. The flexibility of a shoe is very important. Some people need a stiffer shoe. That's why Hoka's are super popular right now, because it's a stiff, really cushioned shoe. Some people like a more flexible shoe. That's why the Ons are really popular right now, because they're a lot more flexible. It just really depends on your foot. There's also the drop to consider. So how high your heel is compared to the ball of your foot, that angle at which you're sitting in the shoe is going to make a difference to how you strike the ground. When you have a very high drop shoe, when your heel is up really high, you strike very heel to toe. When you have a lower drop shoe and you sit more back a little bit, you strike more with the front of your foot. But that's a couple of things. There's a lot of aspects to go over.
Yeah, no, you're dropping that knowledge that we love. I'm gonna keep referring to that because I see Scott's in our comments. He's saying, "My man dropping knowledge bombs." I appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for joining us today. So Daisy, one of the things that I'm sure you hear a lot is a question that we got from Megan in Greensboro. She wants to know, because I'm sure she's dealt with this, because a lot of folks are dealing with, it's sometimes hard to get wide shoes. So her simple question was, do we offer wide or running shoes in wide sizes?
Yeah, absolutely. Fit is extremely important. I have customers that come in here daily that are in shoes that are not the right size, and they're losing toenails, or their toes are falling asleep. You don't have to get a real snug shoe. These shoes have great fit. As long as your foot can spread out and be happy without any extra movement in the shoe, you're good. Most brands offer wides. Most shoes come in wides. If we don't have it immediately in the store, we do have the ability to order it for you and get it super quick. I just ordered a Saucony actually for this lady, and it came within 4 days. So, I mean, it's not like you have to have this big adventure trying to find a wide shoe. You can come in, I can feel your foot in the shoe, see what I think, see what you think, and order you the right size. It's not rocket science.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing that I want to just have you reiterate. When folks are looking for a shoe, it really is important to have the right size. And if you are generally a wide size, meaning your shoe size is usually on you require a wide size.
You have a more voluminous foot. Like some people.
Don't worry if you don't see it immediately on the shelf. Mm-hmm. Our active play experts can help you get that.
When you hear wide, sometimes people think like a real fat foot. Sometimes people with a really tall foot needs a wide shoe. Yeah. So some brands are automatically run a little bit wider, and going to an extra wide in that, you have a lot of room. Some brands are a little bit more narrow fitting. It's just really, really about what fits your foot.
Yeah, and then we've got the last question before we jump into your new upcoming series that we'll talk about. Tom from Apex wants to know, he's dealing with plantar fasciitis. What brands or what style shoe would you consider him looking for?
Yeah. Well, first, plantar fasciitis doesn't heal itself overnight. It's all these little micro tears in your muscles, and it takes a long time to heal. Every brand has certain shoes that offer support. I would get a stability shoe most of the time. Sometimes if you have an orthotic or something, you have to play around with different shoes, but you need something that's going to support your arch and keep your arch up where it's supposed to be, so you're not over flexing those muscles. You can look at an insole option if you already have great shoes. You just bought new shoes. We have Superfeet, we have Atrix, we have things you can put in your shoes to enhance them and kind of help take some of the pressure off of those muscles. But each brand makes what's called a stability shoe, and a shoe that has built-in arch support. Usually it's some sort of like posting under your arch where it's like a denser foam so your foot doesn't collapse. Brooks just has this new guide rail system, so it's little wedges on each side of your foot that kind of keep you from spilling out of alignment. But most brands make a stability shoe.
Yeah, well, I think you said a couple of things that I love. One, obviously, there are great shoes that are available and great brands that have definitely kind of understood that, we need to make sure that there's better arch support. Then I heard you say orthotics or insoles. Obviously, we not only can fit you properly for a shoe, but we can also fit you properly for an orthotic. And then more importantly, what I want to remind folks of is that if you're dealing with plantar fasciitis, it's not just when you're active, it's also in that recovery mode. So we do have some great recovery sandals. I know UFOs is a big hit with your store, Daisy, in North Hills, and of course in all of our stores. So be thinking not just your running shoes, think about your recovery time as well.
Yeah, the UFOs are my favorite product in the store. When I had plantar fasciitis, they literally sat right next to my bed. Anytime, I was never barefoot, never go barefoot. And they're still right next to my bed. I'm not getting plantar fasciitis again. It's the worst thing ever. I'm going to do everything I can to prevent that.
There you go. All right. Well, Daisy, you held up some shoes there. So I want to spend just a couple of minutes on your new show that we're launching called Seriously Saucony. And the reason it's called Seriously Saucony is because you are seriously a Saucony fan. Is that correct?
Yeah, when I first started working at Omega, I had plantar fasciitis. I was working restaurant jobs. I was working part-time at Omega. My feet hurt. So getting in the right shoe was really important to me. I also wanted to be a more serious athlete. I've actually lost 30 pounds since getting in the right shoes. I never thought I was a runner. My knees hurt, my back hurt. I could maybe go a mile and that was it. So now I've, ran half marathons. I have my sights set on a full marathon, and it's literally just because I changed my shoes. So the first shoe I bought was the Saucony Guide 9. It has a very special place in my heart. It was this cute little blue and coral color. And I've always gotten Sauconys ever since then. They've just always worked really well for me. And I've always thought that they are very innovative, very moving forward brand. So I want to talk about their newest shoes. It's from the Endorphin line. This one in particular is my favorite. This is the new Endorphin Shift. This is kind of their long distance, easy rider shoe. A couple of really cool things about it. It has a really tall stack height. It means there's a lot of cushion under your foot. And it's a firmer cushion, so it's not too soft where I gotta dig my feet out of it. It also has this cool speed roll, so it's more softer cushion in the heel and a firmer cushion towards the front of the foot to kind of give you a quick roll off feeling. And the fit is amazing. That's the new Saucony thing is fit. I've put so many different people in this shoe just to try it on and hear what they have to say about it. And the first thing they go is, oh man, it feels like a sock. So I love this shoe. And there's 2 pull tabs. There's one here and one right here. How cool is that? It's so easy to get on. So I'm a big fan of that shoe. This one is a little bit more elite. This is the Endorphin Speed, and I'm a low and slow runner. I'm not fast by any means, but this shoe makes me feel fast. It has a Power Run PB cushioning in it, which is this really bouncy, really light cushioning to it. It's kind of like an upgrade from their Power Run Plus, which they actually put in all of their shoes. You can see it inside of the shoe. It basically is on top of the glue layer, so it kind of makes your foot feel more cushioned because it helps with pressure points and things like that. But this shoe has just gotten amazing reviews. I am so excited to like racing season again because this is going to be my racing shoe. Yeah, that's just a quick and dirty, but throughout the whole series, I'll get more in depth and more technical with the shoes and everything. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Well, we are excited as well. I love the quick and dirty. We appreciate you sharing kind of some quick insights on, I know these are the shoes that you just can't stop talking about. I've already seen folks tagging us in Instagram where you've made recommendations and they've already bought the shoes. So this is going to be an exciting new series. So I just want to give people a few extra details here. So Seriously Saucony is going to be a new series that's launching on our playmore.omegasports.com. That's our Playmore studio. It's going to be hosted and featuring Daisy. And Daisy, we're going to have other Saucony fans join you. We're going to have more of our active play experts joining you. So it's going to be a fun time on all things Saucony because you really have been just a phenomenal fan of this brand. And we love the story that you shared of the first running shoe that you ever really went into, which was the Saucony.
I still have it. Oh,
yeah.
I'm not getting rid of that shoe if my life depended on it. I love that shoe.
Yeah. Well, I want to give you some love here. So you've got Kristen who says, "Go Daisy, go." A couple of comments here. And then she's also joined by Karen who says, "Love my UFOs, saved my feet. Thanks, Omega." So some love for UFOs as well. We want to thank Karen for joining us and Kristen, of course, for joining us. And I see Scott in there. Thanks for joining us. Well, Daisy, we're going to have a lot more information coming out about Seriously Saucony, so folks can always check your email and follow us on social media. We've got some great footage we've already that's in the editing suite right now. And then, of course, we're going to be shooting some more things throughout the rest of the year on this new Seriously Saucony series. So, Daisy, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. You dropped a lot of knowledge and helped us with some great questions that some of our customers sent in. So I want to thank you for that. So now you can go enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, thank you. And definitely people that buy shoes from us, tag us in them so we can share them. You can tag me. I love when my customers tag me in photos. It's at Lauren Daisy Wilson on Instagram. And then if you want to just go ahead and buy your Sauconys now, we have a link you can go to. It's saucony.omegasports.com, and that'll show you a bunch of information too. So thank you.
All right. Well, you have a great vacation, Daisy. We love having you on the show. I can't wait for the new series to launch. You have a great weekend, okay?
Bye. Thank you.
What a pro. I mean, Daisy is just a pro. I love working with Daisy. She's so awesome. Lots of great info. Hopefully I didn't cut her off too much. We had a little bit of a delay where I couldn't quite figure out where to jump in. So forgive me for interrupting any of her fantastic knowledge there. But anyways, we want to thank Daisy. She's fantastic. We have done already several shoots on the Seriously Saucony series. It's going to be super fun. We've got a lot of footage that we've already captured with Daisy. Just as you guys have already seen, the knowledge that she has and the passion that she has for this brand is going to make this series phenomenal. So again, that's why we're excited to have our new playmore.omegasports.com studio, which will allow us to do fun things like this. So anyways, Daisy's fantastic. If you want to, have her help you or any of her active play store right there in the triangle. She's a very, very popular active play expert on our team. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into a interview real quick with our friend Rachel, who's been kind of waiting in the wings as we've been dropping all this shoe knowledge. So let's go ahead and bring Rachel in. Rachel,
hello. Good to be here. I feel like I just have to say, Del, I have a little notepad because I'm old school, even in this digital first world. I have three new favorite terms: low and slow, quick and dirty, and dropping knowledge bombs. So
There you go.
I'm going to steal those and use them. So I love that. Daisy, you can like hear her passion and I don't know, energy. So I love her. Good stuff there.
Yep, we're going worldwide. That's what we're doing. We're
Yes.
dropping knowledge, dropping bombs, dropping new terms everywhere we go.
Yep.
Well, Rachel, I want to thank you for joining us. As we said in the beginning of the show, you are the executive director of the American Cancer Society. I definitely want to dive into that. And of course, you were a recent guest on our new Women's Only podcast, the Omega Sports Women's Only podcast. Where, I may repeat some of the information that we gathered on that interview, but I want to quickly start with the fact that you are a long-time Omega fan. You're part of the family. Tell us about your connection to Omega Sports for all these years.
Yeah, so I am, and I like wrote down a list of like all of my family at Omega, and from Mark to Craig and Kristen and Cleo and you and Daisy, now my new best friend, and it's very much a family. I grew up in Greensboro, which is where you guys are headquartered, and my mother, Diane Urban,
You know her well.
yeah, she's like one of those people that I don't know if these words have ever come out of any human being's mouth. Diane, I'm not sure if I've met her. So I feel like if you've met her once, you just know who she is. And she's wonderful. And she started working with you guys about 35 years ago, almost. I feel like your inception. So she has done everything at the store from being an associate to, of course, promoting and being in some communications efforts and rebranding and branding. And just it's really been a gift to be able to be a part of y'all's company. And I was joking on the podcast with Cleo that I spent a lot of, maybe like sick days there as a child in the back, just, with some soup and a blanket while my mom worked. And, my siblings, we always got fitted for shoes and all of our sports equipment. And we are a very active family. We're raised that way, and it's been wonderful. And we love popping in. Even when I go back home, I live in Raleigh. I love going back to the store and saying hi and just kind of being a part of what you guys do, which is, just really helping people to live a healthy life and enjoying life and kind of maximizing all the great things about life. So thanks for having me on. And I love Omega.
Yeah, well, I want to also just say it's always wonderful to know a real Omega fan or someone who really cares about our brand or our company, because the first moment that we had before the show, we always do a pre-show where we kind of do our technical run through. You asked Daisy, so how's the stores doing, right? So, we love servicing our community. We love helping all these wonderful athletes and families out there. But when someone knows kind of the work that we have to do and the tough times that sometimes we go through, it's nice to be able to be asked, how are you doing? And of course, Daisy was talking about a great day that she had. She was super busy because of our Megaversary. So I just love that. I love that you cared to ask that question and that you loved the response from Daisy, which said, we were super busy. You said, I love to know that you guys are doing well.
Yeah, I love it. Be happy. I always, worry about you guys are statewide, of course. And, through this incredible year we've had, and again, I can speak from our organization's perspective, it's been truly unprecedented. And so when I heard you guys had like a banner day yesterday and some stores and people are buying shoes, getting out there and getting those kids fitted and kind of getting into the fall here. I know it's a busy time. So I love hearing that. Made me happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's a busy time for you guys as well at the American Cancer Society. I mean, obviously, everyone right now is everything's pink. Everything's like super focused on breast cancer awareness. Obviously, that's a huge mission right now for you guys. But I'd love for you to share with everyone, the overall mission for the American Cancer Society and kind of bring it down into the local efforts that you do here in North Carolina.
Sure. So thanks so much. And So my territory is the mountains to the sea. So a lot of North Carolina. We've got a wonderful executive director out of Charlotte, who's chipping away there and doing a lot of great things. But the American Cancer Society's mission is really to attack cancer from every angle, from prevention efforts in youth health, which I'll talk about, I think, in a little bit, to screenings and care and survivorship and palliative end-of-life care, research, innovation. How do we support? And I always say all ribbons, you know, it is pink and it's everywhere, and it's powerful, the power of pink. But we really, as we embark on November being liver, prostate cancer, lung cancer awareness month, you know, November is important. Every single day of the year is important for us. And so the organization, as I was sharing, just a little snapshot for the viewers today, you know, we've been around for 107 years. We are the leading, you know, private funder of research in the world, second only to the government and the National Institute of Health. And so we're prideful about that. And research is certainly important for future generations. And $11 million comes back to North Carolina, 9 here in the Triangle. So at the Big Blues is what we call them, but we fund research in this state from east to west, Wake Forest to ECU. And so we're super proud of that innovation. And then, you know, just the last thing that we do is really supporting people through their journeys, making sure nobody feels alone. And we do that by our again, a very digital first mindset right now. So stuff like this and really deploying video capabilities for our support programs, our call center, which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I say you can call us on Christmas morning, Thanksgiving Day, Easter Sunday, you know, 4th of July, and someone will be there for you to answer questions about insurance and, you know, how do I get a screening? Where are the screenings in my area? You know, I feel alone, help me here. And so I'm proud of what we do. And again, on the localized level, we do a lot with our events and our support programs and our relationships with the healthcare systems and the triad, triangle and whatnot. So proud to be here today. And I loved the time with Cleo. It was powerful for me to speak about women and leadership, and also women in health and women in family and my own mother. So thanks so much, Del, for having me on.
Absolutely. In fact, you mentioned the podcast. I want to go ahead and break away for a second because I want to give everyone who hasn't had a chance to listen to the podcast to get just a quick little snippet of some great, we're going to keep the party going with knowledge bombs.
Know your body. Know your body. Know the truth.
I just want to interject.
Yeah,
I want you to
please
say that one more time, because I don't think women think about that and they don't listen to it. So if you could say that for us one more time.
Yes. If you are out there listening to this, know your body, know your body, know your body.
That's right. I love that.
And when it comes to cancer and even heart disease and stroke and, you know, other chronic illnesses, if you are, and I use this, if you have walked up the same set of stairs to go to work for 2 decades and one day you're walking up that set of stairs and you notice that you can't breathe or are, you know, out of breath more than you were the last week, and you know that you haven't done anything to change that, you probably have something going on with your heart.
Yeah, so I know that was a reoccurring theme throughout the podcast. Know your body, especially, of course, that was for everyone, but certainly women, as that show really that interview was really focused on kind of the women's angle. But knowing your body is really important. So, you know, I heard you say, you know, $9 million coming into the Triangle from funding. I mean, that's really a credit to you and your team that's out there making things happen.
Yeah, thank you. And it's nice to be able to say that big number. And you know, it's a big number, and it takes a lot of people to get there. And our 4 million volunteers that we have, several thousand in the triad, and kind of breaking it down for a visual perspective there. We've got several events, and I did want to plug this. I don't know if you knew this nugget. So we have our Relay for Life event, and which is really a movement and a powerful thing to be a part of. It was actually started by a man named Gordy Klatt in Tacoma, Washington in 1983, who was a surgeon, and he got really fed up, truly, of cancer, people dying at high rates back then. And so he went out to his track and he ran 17 miles over a 24-hour period, and the news came out and his friends came out, raised a little bit of money. And so that was like 35 years ago, maybe even more now. That is how, from that grassroots perspective, and I even think things like this, and even Daisy, people being passionate about something that's important to them. And so for me, it's team building, and it's being a part of North Carolina and making the communities better, and I feel like and that's what it's all about. And so it's, how can we live a healthy lifestyle? How can we make little changes? And, that change might be trying to quit smoking. It takes people 7 attempts on average to really get that to stick. How can we try to maintain a healthy weight? COVID, I think we hear things, feast or famine there, people being a little bit fluffier than they were in March, and even people trying to, I'm seeing you point at yourself, I might be one of those people. So, how do we just create patterns that are going to be meaningful for our own health outcomes? And we don't, at the Cancer Society, we don't just want people to live longer. We want people to have a quality of life. And so we know that's people not being alone. That's people, again, please don't start smoking. Try to give up your tobacco habits. Let's limit our amount of red meat, stay physically active, and again, try to eat a lot of fruits and veggies. So thanks for letting me share that, Del.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what I also heard you say, I think it was 24/7, 365. There's a number that folks can call if they just go to cancer.org. I'm sure the information's there. That people, if you are, if they think something's wrong, they've got questions, or you're actually both the person with cancer, or you're taking care of someone, or someone that you love is dealing with this, there's help out there. That is available, that you guys have done a great job raising money, raising funds to build really a dynamic technology ecosystem to be able to help so many millions of people who may just have a question or just may need a comforting thought.
Yeah, thanks. And we actually deployed through COVID, and I use the word pivot. I think the whole country had to pivot very quickly in March and April. And our organization did that by deploying more resources to the video capabilities so that you can see someone, again, it's important. And also we deployed our live chat option. And so go to cancer.org, truly a plug that if you hear this or see it, and you can share it with anybody, or just know that it's out there, we're here for you.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this in the past with previous conversations. When anyone thinks of cancer or they hear the word cancer, we start to get really, really scared, right? So everyone kind of shuts down. Everyone doesn't want to know. I would, for one, hate going to the doctor. So, I think everything. If I fell down the stairs today and
oh no,
I'm dealing with this tiny little boo-boo, then I'm like, oh my God, what if this turns in and I get an infection in my bone? And then what happens? People start to get really anxious when it comes to their well-being. But one thing that I think is really important is know your body, right? Know what your body can handle, what it can't handle, and just asking for advice. There's no cost to call that line. Ask for advice, ask for guidance, call your doctor. Doctors nowadays are doing telemedicine, and you can call in and just get some help, because, it's better to be on the preventative side, or proactive side and preventative side, before things get kind of further down the road. And even if you do happen to hear that word, there's a whole ecosystem of options available to you.
Yeah, I love that. And it's really the truth. And no matter what age you are, you're your own health expert in some ways. I don't know what's going on with you, Del, and I don't know what's going on with Daisy or my parents, but I can say, gosh, I feel like I noticed a lump that wasn't there a few months ago somewhere, or I'm having issues, in certain areas of my body, and that's meaningful. And so there's help if you've got to take that first step and try to seek it out, and it's okay, because I feel like the treatments, and again, going back to that millions of dollars that we're funding, there's so much progress being made around survivor rates, specifically breast cancer, colorectal cancer. I said that on the podcast. Lung cancer. There's a lung cancer screening. That did not exist 10 or 20 years ago. And so our advancements are lightning fast, but people need to do their part to hone in on those health behaviors, knowing themselves, and then hopefully, that life expectancy rate will just fly through the roof, and really just lean in that trajectory. So it's all important stuff. And you guys at Omega, you guys are, again, a part of that. I'm not plugging y'all because obviously I'm biased, but the level of yeah, I feel like it's just really important, because again, I don't know if you consider yourself a small business or, medium sized, but it's nice to have that level of support. Kind of creating an analogy here, like Daisy, hearing from her, and just that kind of intimate level of customer service. We think about customer service on our end too. I kind of lead a team here, and they're an amazing team. Would not be anywhere without them. And I say, our patients, our survivors, our corporate partners, healthcare systems, they're our customers and stakeholders, and we need to make sure we're here for them. And I know you guys think in the same way.
Absolutely. It's very important. It's funny and not so funny that we actually went into 2020 with this very, very laser focus on wellness. Mm-hmm. That, for generations, families have come to us for sports, and that's fantastic. And we continue to service those families, but we also, and of course, running. But really what we wanted to do in 2020 was really kind of break through as a stay active, we call it run more, move more, and play more, because we want everyone out there staying active. So we were kind of building towards what the world just kind of opened up for, which is, now we are staying active, and it's been wonderful to see. And I think it's through that neighborship of businesses and brands and, partners that are out there that are really just helping people stay active, stay conscious, stay aware of all that are available for folks, so that we can live a good life. I think that's really the main thing. And that's what we try to do here at Omega Sports. I do want to make a comment that I see Kristen in there asking if I'm okay. So I don't want to make I will do a PSA. When you get Amazon packages and your wife tells you to move the boxes, you should do it, because you'll fall. Because always win, and you will always fall if you don't. So I took a spill at the bottom of the stairs because my wife, who actually was the one who purchased something, there was a box at the bottom, and I should have put it away when she told me to. So that's my PSA. If you are living with someone who is proactive and smarter than you, you should always listen to them.
There we go.
So Rachel, what I want to do is I want to talk about, now I know we talk about cancer, but then let's talk about proactiveness. Mm-hmm. And, kind of being on that same vibe of let's keep people running more, moving more, and playing more. I know the American Cancer Society does a lot of work, and you have a great program that you guys have established to really make young kids really fall in love with activities and sports. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's a program in partnership, the American Cancer Society, with the NFL, the National Football League, and it's called Crucial Catch. And we have several schools in and across North Carolina, high schools, middle schools, that are involved. And it's a little bit of a fundraising component, but it's really, fellowship, and you said, neighborship, to just really be a part of a community. The NFL is the brand, my nephew's 9 and he's in Chapel Hill, and he is like a part of this little football league, and it's flag football, but he's going to be a quarterback for the NFL, just heads up there in 20 years, Caden Coward. And so when I think about the power of the NFL and the Cancer Society, our forces have combined, and it's a campaign to raise money that goes to communities, underserved communities, earmarked for screenings for breast cancer. Kind of hard stop there, but really the power throughout the year is, you know, children and schools can come together and do activities, primarily football, but really not limited. Soccer can do it, you know, rugby, you know, field hockey, running, and it's just that crucial catch to say, you know, the crucial catch, the thing that's crucial is saving lives and creating a next generation that has a healthy mindset. And so there's a website, you can find it on cancer.org. You can Google Crucial Catch, American Cancer Society, and get your school, your youth group involved. There's no cost to set up. There's no minimum fundraising component. We'll take every dollar and celebrate every single dollar. And you're equipped with, you know, on our ends, educational materials around cancer. There's actually a little shop that you can go to buy swag. And you're also qualified for certain fundraising levels, and your school can get some stuff back. And it's really also, there's a little playbook. And then at the end, there's actually NFL players, you know, that can, you know, come on and kind of be linked to your school that have chosen cancer as their charity of choice, not just Cancer Society, but just cancer. So it's awesome. It's really neat. We've seen a big influx this year, and in the virtual space, we actually feel like the need is underscored a little bit more because we're not getting that connection of classroom settings here and there. So it's fabulous, it's important, and it's next generational.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So we definitely need to talk more about Crucial Catch.
Yep.
You and I can talk about that, and we'll figure out how we can play, because I love the idea of, well, first of all, partnering with the NFL, kudos to you guys.
Yeah, right.
And really kind of making that as a draw for kids to really feel like there's this fantastic program that their schools are offering and that their communities are offering that really do pay off in bigger ways for folks that are dealing with cancer. So I think that's phenomenal. And I think that's a great thing that, you know, we should be all over. We should talk.
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it. To be continued. I might be your favorite guest, Del. You might have to kind of, you know, ward me away here with sticks, but
no,
it's awesome.
I'll create a whole channel for you. And then let Hayden know we need to gear him up. If he's going to be the next quarterback, you know, and be proactive. You can be proactive on health. I'll be proactive on, let's figure out who the new next superstars are.
He actually, you know, my sport was soccer, but my brother's sport was football and baseball. He will send my brother playbooks. He writes his own plays, and it's the power of sports, right? When you're little, the possibilities are endless. And so we're excited about that, and it keeps him active. And I'm sure he gets his shoes and pants and sneakers from Omega Sports. I guarantee it.
He better. Well, we'll keep him geared up properly. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much, Rachel, for joining us this morning and for, you know, dropping those knowledge bombs. I saw Scott put another yes comment in our comments, so we love him for joining us. Rachel, I want to leave you with an opportunity to just once again let people know if they are dealing, you know, if they have cancer or if they have someone that they're close to that has cancer. I want to let the executive director of our American Cancer Society in our area share your thoughts.
Yeah. If you're out there and if you're listening, or if you care for someone who's going through cancer, you know, we're here for you. Nobody's alone in their journey. Thank you for, you know, being a part of their support system. It takes a village. And what I'm here to share is, you know, take care of yourself, get out there, stay active, and reach out to us if you need answers to your questions. We're truly here for you. No question is too stupid or silly. And we've got a network to kind of wrap you guys in love and support. So thanks so much, Del, for having me on. And thank you, Omega, for allowing me the opportunities. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I think it's important to also, I'll just add on and piggyback to that, you know, I want people to feel very comfortable in receiving help, but I also want to encourage people to help. So, of course, you can take on volunteerism. If you're out there, if you've ever been touched by this, if you want to volunteer, you can certainly go to cancer.org to do some volunteer, whether it's time, money, whatever it is, whatever people have that they can offer up. You know, we want to encourage people to also volunteer.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Del.
Absolutely. Well, now you get to enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Awesome. I'm in my little tank top because I'm trying to go work out at noon. So thanks so much for having me on. You guys are the best. And I look forward to stopping in the North Hills store for sure.
There you go. Ask for Daisy. All right. Have a good one. Enjoy your workout.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a great show, an hour-long show. We want to thank Daisy for joining us today, dropping all kinds of knowledge bombs, as our friend Scott likes to say. And then, of course, Rachel Urban from the American Cancer Society. Make sure you check out her full podcast interview with Cleo Fawcett, the Omega Sports Women's Only podcast. You can find it on your favorite podcasting platforms, Spotify, Google Podcast, pretty much everything except for iTunes, because we're waiting a couple more days to get that up and running on iTunes. But it will be there, I promise you. We've always had our podcast on iTunes, but this is new, so it takes a while to process through. But you can also go to our playmore.omegasports.com. And the reason that's important, because if you are listening to the podcast, we've also taken that podcast and provided some show notes and some important links for you. If you've heard something that you're interested in, you can always just click and link the link to it and go right to that information. Rachel's great. We love having her. The good work that she's doing, we appreciate. And we appreciate you guys for watching us today. Remember, it is our mega bursary this weekend. Make sure you go out there and shop and enjoy and take advantage of our thank you for helping us stay in business and be successful for 42 plus years. You guys have a great day. Shop us in stores, online at omegasports.com. Make sure you run more, move more, and play more. Stay safe.